Salut.
Habituellement, évidemment, les directeurs de recrutement choisir de sélectionner le plus tôt possible. Là, vous avez changé les 2 choix de première ronde pour Noah Dobson. C'était quoi votre réaction dans les discussions là, avec Kent à propos de on le fait dessus ou on le fait pas?
Mais ça, c'est la grosse job à Kent. Il a pu accumuler des choix repêchage, beaucoup de choix repêchage pour que si à un moment donné, il y avait besoin de les prendre, ces choix-là, c'était à lui de décider quand les prendre, puis il l'a fait cette année.
As-tu l'impression que ça pourrait arriver, parce que ça semblait être rentré dans une nouvelle étape de reconstruction? Est-ce que ça pourrait se reproduire? As-tu l'impression que ça pourrait se reproduire plus souvent maintenant que vous êtes rendu justement à l'étape d'aller peut-être chercher des joueurs plutôt que de vous bourrer d'espoir?
Bien, c'est sûr, je pense que quand tu as la chance d'aller chercher un Noah Dobson comme ça, puis ça te prend 2 choix de première ronde, je pense que faut que tu le fasses. Puis moi et Nick, on était absolument d'accord qu'il le fasse. Puis je pense qu'il a fait un excellent boulot pour la faire. Et puis on a aujourd'hui un Noah Dobson qui va être joué avec nous pendant longtemps, puis il a 25 ans, puis il y a des belles années avant lui.
Merci. Richard?
Martin, on ne peut pas évidemment prédire le futur, mais de manière générale, quel est le niveau de satisfaction de la direction avec ce qui s'est passé hier et aujourd'hui?
Très, très, très satisfait. Je pense qu'on a repêché beaucoup de caractère, des jeunes de caractère. Et puis, on s'est renforcé à la défensive, qui fit dans le noyau de joueurs qu'on a. Puis, je pense que l'avenir est juste positif.
Okay.
Hi Nick, I'll involve you a little when it comes to Alexander Zarovski. You advanced in the draft to pick him. How important was it for you to select that kind of profile as a player? We know that from what we've seen, he seemed to have some very good hands and he's very shifty offensively.
Yeah, I mean the mandate was to find a top 6 talent, and usually top 6 talent disappears pretty quickly after a certain point in the draft. It's pretty rare when you find them a little bit later, and there are circumstances that surround those, let's call them drops. So in this case, we had Alexander in the first round, and obviously we wouldn't have done what we did if we didn't have him in a certain area. And we knew that the market was reacting in a similar fashion to what they were seeing in this draft as well. So just like in the Dobson, sweepstakes, we knew that we were competing against several teams going after the same players. So that's when things get a little bit more expensive, and we recognized that. So we were willing to pay that price.
Martin, une petite question sur Alexis Cournoyer. On a eu l'occasion de lui parler virtuellement tantôt, puis très coloré, très, très excité évidemment. Là, il y avait même un tableau avec une lumière du Canadien dans sa chambre quand il nous parlait. C'est quand même toute une histoire là, de voir un jeune qui se joint à la LHJMQ en décembre, puis finalement est sélectionné par vous. Qu'est-ce que vous avez vu au cours des derniers mois qui vous a convaincu?
C'est sûr que Vincent Riendeau l'a vu jouer souvent. Serge Boisvert, Donald Audette aussi. Je l'ai vu jouer aussi. Alexis, on l'a passé en entrevue. Vincent et Serge, on l'a passé en entrevue. Puis, laisser faire le côté hockey, là, la personne lui-même là, était excellente. Et puis, on a été vraiment impressionnés par sa personne. Donc, c'est un compétiteur. On sait qu'il est plus vieux. Mais je pense qu'on est très content de l'avoir avec nous.
Martin Lapointe et Alexandre Gascon.
Pourquoi 2 gardiens de but, Martin? Est-ce qu'il y avait une volonté de grossir encore ou si c'est devenu juste circonstanciel au moment où vous êtes venu pour sélectionner?
C'était quand on parle à Vincent, on lui demande où c'est que tu vois ton goaler, où c'est que tu vois qu'on le prenne. Fait que pour lui, il nous a dit des targets. Puis moi et Nick, on n'avait pas de misère à les acquérir là, à ce moment-là.
Il y a une tendance, en tout cas, assez forte. on croit que c'est la tendance des Panthers de la Floride d'aller chercher des gars plus costauds. En tout cas, beaucoup l'observent. Puis vous avez repêché un des plus petits joueurs de ce repêchage-là, probablement le plus petit à quelques centimètres près. Qu'est-ce que lui avait de spécial quand la tendance va un peu à l'inverse, en fait?
Bien, aussi, c'était circonstanciel aussi. En 4e ronde, tu essaies aussi de chercher des coups de circuit. Et puis, c'est sûr que Lane Hudson, c'était en 2e ronde. Mais LJ Mooney, c'est un jeune qui a beaucoup de caractère. C'est un compétitionneur. Et puis, très dynamique sur la glace. Capable de scorer des buts. Et puis, en 4e ronde, il n'y avait pas d'autres joueurs qui fitaient ce profil-là. Puis, c'est un talent. Puis la grosseur, on n'était pas inquiet de ça. Puis c'est pour ça qu'on l'a fait.
Alexandre, Mackenzie, Harpen et Stu. Salut Martin.
Salut.
Nick en a parlé en anglais, mais j'aimerais ça t'entendre en français sur Zarovski un peu. Pourquoi vous avez jugé important d'aller le chercher, vous avez fait une transaction pour mettre la main sur ce gars-là au 2e tour. Qu'est-ce que vous voyez en lui?
Mais par écrit, c'est un choix de 2e ronde, mais sur notre liste à nous autres, c'était un choix de 1er ronde. Puis on l'avait aussi qu'on était supposé de repêcher. Donc pour nous, c'est important. Puis le mandat, comme Nick l'a mentionné, le mandat, c'est repêcher un top 6, talent de top 6. Pour nous, c'est important. Donc on n'a pas de problème à aller payer pour ça.
Peux-tu me parler de lui un petit peu, type de joueur?
Oui, c'est un gars, un petit gars très intelligent. Il a quand même une belle grandeur. Il va se grossir physiquement. Il peut faire des jeux, ralentir le jeu, relancer l'attaque vite, une bonne vision du jeu. Donc, c'est un gars qui est très fort sur la rondelle. Dans les batailles, là, dans les coins de patinoire, c'est pas un gars qui va se laisser intimider. Il compétitionne pour les rondelles et puis c'est ça qu'on aime de lui. Puis c'est un talent top 6.
And if I may, a quick one for you, Nick. I know you won't share any organizational secrets or anything, but can you share a little bit what was the intentions, the needs you were trying to fulfill, the overall global strategy coming into this draft?
Well, I guess everybody wants to draft the best player available with each pick, right? So we have to figure out who that player is, and they're not always apples to apples, different styles, different sizes. But after the Noah Dobson trade, we felt that finding forwards, a forward or several forwards who have top 6 talent would add to our depth organizationally. And you recognize what the realities are in the marketplace, as I mentioned before. And again, we wanted to add a lot of compete, a lot of grit to our depth in the prospect pool. But we also wanted a shot at, 2 or 3 kids that can play with the top players in the world. I think you guys have discovered that one of our current players has grown up playing with Alexander Zarovski growing up and for quite some time. And so we've done our homework and we felt pretty comfortable to do what we've done.
Thank you. Mackenzie?
Nick, I just want to ask you specifically about the Halifax Moosehead selection and Carlos Handel. What stood out to him aside from being a defender, being a right shot? Why was Handel the right fit for the Canadiens?
Well, we did pick quite a few Ds, and they happen to be right shot Ds, which is a rarity in the market. Everybody knows that, and when they fall in your lap, you have to strike. And we watched Carlos all year. We watched him come into Halifax. We watched him at the World Junior as a very young kid on a team that was playing some tough games. And he ran their power play. He's very calm with the puck, can pass the puck really well. He was U18 team captain and a leader. He was physical. So we felt that he belonged in an earlier place in the draft, and we felt that he fell a little bit too low, and we were very comfortable taking him there, given the body of work that he presented to us throughout the year. And he has very good options in DEL as well, so we thought that his path is looking pretty promising from a development standpoint.
Martin, and for you, with the eligibility changes with CHL and the NCAA programs, just how does that change your department at all, whether it be scouting assignments or things like that?
Well, of course, moving forward, there's going to be a lot more scouts scouting the NCAA, and at the end of the day, we're looking for players. Wherever they are, we're going to try to look for them, and I think it's just finding the right talent for your team.
Arvin? Well, Nick, did you get a chance to spend time with Zarovski this season in Russia at all? Or was there to what extent did you have contact with him face-to-face this year, if at all?
Yeah, we talked a couple times, and then obviously it's not easy to travel in and out, especially, and it's not easy to travel within the country either. So that presents its own challenges for live meetings, but we found a way to meet anyways, and he improved all year. I mean, it's no secret that he wasn't rated at the beginning of the year, and he came from a lower level and started emerging maybe quarter way through the season, and then halfway through the season it was even better, and towards the end he was thrown into his first KHL games in the playoffs against pretty tough teams, in Spartak and Yaroslavl. So the body of work and the trajectory of his improvement was very impressive, and so and we met him in Florida, Marty and I and Vinny at Dan Milstein's camp. So we've had enough interaction.
When you went to see Ivan?
No, that was the recent camp at Fort Lauderdale.
When you went to see Ivan, is that when
yes,
you were able to
correct,
see him?
yes,
Okay.
correct.
Secondly, and just further to I guess Alex's question about the overall plan, but I'm just wondering if, last year we asked you guys about the overall shape of your prospect pool since you came on board, and how varied it is and how you have different aspects. Do you anticipate having to change in any way the way you scout? When Marty mentions looking for home runs, the Mooney pick in the 4th round, do you anticipate, now that you have a balanced prospect pool, that you look for different things in players in any way?
Yeah, that would be the case, because you don't want to create redundancy in certain elements, certain types of profiles and players, and you're always missing a few ingredients here and there, so you look for those ingredients, and being mindful of the player has to be still the best player available when all things are equal. But if one ingredient tips the scale a little bit, that's the difference maker in the selection. So yeah, we certainly look at that.
Different than before?
If you have enough of one thing, then you're looking at something different. So I can give you an example. We wanted more depth on the right side on defense, so just organizational depth, and you look around the NHL depth charts, and they're lacking that depth, so we wanted to increase that depth, to give you an example.
Thank you.
Questions you want to go to Stu Cowan and a follow-up from Marcus Moore.
Nick, as Martin said, you guys obviously were on board with trading the 2 first-round picks. I'm just wondering, though, for a scouting staff in general, when that happens, is it almost like studying for a test, and then part of that test is sort of canceled? And did it make it for a long night last night sitting in that war room?
Well, yeah, when the test is canceled, but you still get an A, you're really excited. So,
We had no problem doing
No.
that.
No, sure. With Zarovski, you mentioned he's friends with Demidov and they grew up together. How much did that factor in that it might be easier, like with two Russian kids coming here and potentially being together in this environment? Did that factor into it at all with the decision, or was it just a skill thing on all of it?
Everything factors into your decision. I mean, we'll look at every angle and the little elements that tip the scale one way or another, because there were other players we really loved too. So, we thought that we had the best chance at this particular player because the circumstances allowed for the slight fall, and we were fortunate that their lives intersected the way it has. But even if it didn't, we still would have been as high on the player. So it's just an extra bonus.
I certainly looked happy in the video we posted.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Merci, messieurs.